Hello, you wonderful women and men out there. Today we're going to be taking a look at Doom 3. Now, when this game came out, I remember my dad desperately wanted to play it and wanted to get it for the original Xbox, but we never did get it and he never got to play it. It sucks to suck, old man. But this game starts off with an actual story, which is weird for most Doom games. I mean, even the modern Doom games have a nonsensical nonsense going on throughout the entire campaign. This game's kind of easy to chew on. You start off, you're some Marine who's just Mr. Marine Joe number 1. And he shows up on Mars because Elon Musk needs some help dealing with science stuff on the Red Planet. And this is where the game hits you with the entry log of everything seems okay until you go behind the scenes. After you look at your little PDA, you hear a little talk going on with Mr. Bald Guy with glasses, who seems like a pretty solid dude, and then you have Mr. Dude with the dead eye. Now, if I knew one thing about evil guys in video games, is they only usually have functionality of one of their eyes, and the other one looks like a dead fish floating to the top of the tank. The ones you don't want to have sex with. Actually, don't have sex with any fish. That's weird and disgusting, and you have issues if you think that fish are sexy. You're like, ooh, look at their mouths. They can breathe water. Ooh, you're a disgusting human if that's your mentality. You're as bad as this guy who looks like he's a gross fish fucker. But one guy, the guy with glasses, basically is like a scientist, but he's also military, and he's like, hey, we need to, figure out what's going on here. And the other guy's like, everything's fine, my child. I only am trying to open the doors of hell. I mean, not open the doors of hell. Fairly Odd Parents. You know, he's got those type of vibes, and right away, you know, he's gonna be the bad guy. I mean, I did like that they made both a good and bad bald guy, so bald representation, I guess. You got the good and the bad in this game. But right after that little cute cutscene, it gives me free reign to go do whatever the hell I want. So, knowing that this game runs on the same engine as Prey, obviously I go to the bathroom to see if I can go fuck with some taps, go give him the gold whappity wep, slap some clits and tap for me, you know? And what doesn't this game have? No taps that I can slap to turn on water. Bad game. This game sucks. I mean, I can't even flush the urinals. They were one of those stupid fucking auto urinals. I mean, that's way ahead of its time, considering most urinals today, you just kind of walk away from it, it flushes for you. But is it a crime that I wanted to hit me some taps? No, it's fine. But then I found the most Asian-looking NPC of all time. Like, the Doom 3 devs were like, well, we got this NPC who's gonna be in the kitchen. Well, which way should we make him? Asian! We should make him really Asian. Give him as slanted eyes as we possibly can have. And I'm like, whoa, this is kind of seeming a little offensive there, game devs. And I didn't care, because what really matters is my score in Turkey Puncher. What's your score in Turkey Puncher? Because mine is so high. I don't know. I had a pretty high score. This game is like just as good as Doom 3. I mean, are you kidding me? I can fist a turkey to death? What? What other games are like, check out our little game over here, and then you play it for a while, and like in Prey it was like poker. No. The Doom, it's Turkey Puncher. We gotta fist our turkeys right up the anus to death. And I love that it's like old Doom, like retro Doom just punching a turkey. I thought that was kind of hilarious. Far be it for me to actually even call that mildly adorable. Just like this next little area, you kind of get to your fucking area, and your commanding officer's like, about time, Marine. You took long enough, and I'm like, you're adorable, idiot. You think that I wasn't going to go mess with all this stuff in your little game world? You think that I actually care about my rank in this game? Ha! You're a moron! And he's like, we got stuff going on. We got a missing scientist. You gotta go find him, because he's probably over jerking off into a corner looking at some Lana Rhodes material. And I'm like, whoa, Lana Rhodes, man of flavor, I guess. I'm more of a Riley Reid guy myself, I have to say, so I guess he's got some sort of culture. But then I follow this cute little spider robot that kind of looks like it has the head from Alien, or Aliens, or Alien, whatever the third one was called that nobody watched. But yeah, it's got a little cute alien head, and I'm like, it's a little spider, and it's just gonna show me the way. How adorable. I mean, it's not really a spider, because it only has like 4 legs, and spiders got like 8, but I mean, what else? How else do you describe this? It doesn't walk like a dog. I mean, it's not like a fucking dog with an alien head. It's Spider. It's like you tell me in the comments what you think, and while you're around the comment area, give me a like and a subscribe because I put in work into these. And when who else is going to give you adorable spider walking segments? Not those other retrospective guys. I'm the best at it, goddammit. So I eventually get to the area where the scientist is supposed to be, and I get a gun, which is always fantastic. And they're like, "Oh, don't shoot anybody. Be careful where you aim that thing." And I'm like, "You don't tell me what to do, dead scientist." Ha! The scientist thought he could live, and I just murdered him. Could you imagine? He's just sitting at work. He's like, "Oh, I gotta input these numbers because I'm a nerd." And then, blam, you're dead. Oh, no more numbers are running through your head. The only thing running through your head is lead. But no, I seriously ran through this whole area, and I wanted to see if I could kill all the NPCs. And this game will straight up let me kill anybody. And I even looked up online to see if it matters, and people are like, it doesn't really matter. You can kill anybody in this game. And I'm like, what? It doesn't mess with the story? So I didn't have to reset my save, because that is totally what I did here. Because after I killed everybody, I then looked things up like a dumbass and didn't say, luckily the save was a checkpoint, but eventually after all this chaos, I meet the lost scientist, who is a considerably less amount of Asian than the last dude I met. I mean, now I feel like I'm getting a little bit racist, but it's the game doing it to me. It's not my fault that they just made so many people different variations of Asian in this game. And he's like, "Oh, we messed up. We opened a door that we shouldn't have opened. We fondled the clit we shouldn't have fondled. We flicked the tips we shouldn't have flicked." And all sorts of things start going bling bling. You know, in the in horror movies when things start going a bling bling and crash boom, and then whoa, flashy demon lights, and then heads are flying my way, and I start to realize something about Doom 3. This is a horror game. I thought it was just another bing bang boom shooter. No, not Doom 3. It's straight up horror. And I learned this because I saw the doctor guy and I was like, "Wait, are you alright?" And then he hit me. So obviously I had to shoot him to death because finally I decided to stop killing doctors and scientists in this game. And what do? They turn into a zombie and try to kill me. They try to eat my dick off. And then my actual brain that has some sort of knowledge, I guess, but the one down below has more knowledge. So obviously they're going to try to get a mouthful of that head before they go after my brains. But yeah, dude, everybody's just fucking everybody that I kept alive the first time. I don't know. Let me know if the people I kill in that first section, if I would have killed all of them, if I would have had as many zombies to fight on the way back. Because I'm curious about that. Because I know one guy that was shooting me, I definitely think was the guy that was just chilling by the airlock before. Because I mean, I'm curious. I'm gonna have to replay this game one day and see if murdering everybody on the way in makes my way out much easier. I mean, not that it was hard before because they give me a boomstick. The shotgun, though, in this game is kind of middling. It's not my favorite shotgun. I mean, this came out in the era of Halo, and I'm like, well, Halo did a good shotgun. Halo has a very similar shotgun to yours, but it does everything yours does, but much better. One thing I do want to give this game credit for is its cutscenes, and it's because they never take up too much time, but they introduce cool stuff, or they're there to just scare the crap out of you. And I really loved the fact that it'll rip your eyes out of your skull, the back of your head, to show you a monster crawling on a vent that you can then pump full of lead and watch its intestines blow out of its asshole. I do like that. I really like the vibes this game going for. Plus the lighting is weirdly good. It's I don't know, it rides that line of being a horror game and also a great shooter at the same time. And this whole game, it was people were jumping around the corners and trying to kill me. One thing I do want to get ahead of you on your way out of this little first entryway, if you play this game, make sure to go back to the office and unlock a locker. That way you get the machine gun faster than when the game would give it to you later down the line, because the machine gun slaps all sorts of clit, and you want that thing as fast as possible, and you got to go and unlock the locker to do that, because before you had some jabroni standing behind the glass telling you what guns you could and couldn't have, like a little pussy ass bitch. But now that he's dead and he's not there to tell you what to do anymore, you can get whatever guns you need or want. So that was really kind of cool, and when I got that, obviously I love this thing. I really love this gun. This gun you will consistently be using for a lot of the game. I rarely pulled the shotgun out again unless I was fighting the guys that throw the fire at you. Another good tip: anytime you come up to a locker, Just wiki it. I mean, I don't have time to go reading through my PDA every 6 seconds. This is a shooting game. This isn't a reading game. Actually, when I come to think of it, I did have to read the wiki to actually be able to find those codes, so I think the joke is kind of on me, isn't it? God, I'm an idiot. Wham, wham, wham. No quit for me. One thing I do want to point out, though, about the level design is a lot of people tend to hate on this game's tight level design compared to the older Dooms. I actually really, really love it, and I think that might just be because of how much I love the game Prey, and this game feels very, very similar to Prey due to them both being made on the same engine. I really like it, and especially in this area where I'm backtracking through my opening area where it was just kind of all bright and everybody's doing their thing, and now it's all dead and zombies, and every corner there could be some jabroni trying to reach up on your nutsack to get some of that good sweaty cheese, you know? I mean, hell, I even started like trying to make my way purposely back to the kitchen because I want to check if my Asian friend is still alive. But, you know, in all good things must come to an end, and I guess it was his time to go. The super Asian could not make it any longer, and it really hurts me, truly. I mean, I thought me and him would fight together till the end of time, and then I had an even scarier thought. No! What about Turkey Puncher 3? Oh no, they better not have hurt my Turkey Puncher 3, so I rush in a mad haze, getting lost, only to find the masterpiece of gaming ingenuity was shut down and out of order, which goes to show that we truly live in dark, dark times, and I must figure out what has caused the havoc on this station. And then I ran into another cute little spider thing, and I found out that it has a really cool gun that just kind of molests all sorts of zombie and monsters. I really like this guy even more now. Not only is he adorable, but he's also deadly. He kind of just fucks everything up in his wake, and I love it. I mean, most of the time I didn't even have to fight anything through here, and that kind of sucked because I do like shooting things in the bussy, but when I have a cute spider to do it for me, who can complain, truly? I mean, these sections don't ever last too long. You don't ever follow these robots for that astronomical of amount of time, but anytime you do, God, is it good. And I still love the fact that when you go into a cutscene, it's like ripping itself out of its skull. When you get to this area, you got one Marine guy carrying a suitcase, which is, hint, I had a feeling right when I saw him and he was talking to the evil scientist guy and he was like, hey, we're gonna hunt you down. We're putting an end to this. And I'm like, ooh, I gotta catch up with these guys because these guys seem to know what's going on. They seem to be on the up and the down and they seem to be knowing where all the glory holes are or whatever the ones are with where people like stick their ass in the hole. I don't know. I think that's a thing. Well, maybe it isn't. Maybe I just came up with a new thing. But I had a feeling that guy had a BFG, and I love me a BFG in Doom. Another thing this game is weirdly cool about is having like weird NPC interactions. Now I was running down this hallway, right, just kind of minding my own business, messing up some monsters when they decided to come in my way, and I found this poor little jabroni all laying there and in pain, and he was like telling me stuff. He's like, they came from nowhere. I can't believe that they beat me, because I've come to find out that every single Marine other than me sucks at killing these monsters, and he was dying, so I figured I might as well end his suffering, so I killed him. But I thought it was kind of a lot of these little interactions you can have in this game I find kind of funny and kind of quirky in a weird Doom 3 kind of way. I mean, they're just kind of funny. And I found this little like hub area where I hit this thing, and then this weird fucking like naked mole rat on robotic legs just kind of jumps down and starts growling at me. It's like a pit bull, and like, well, what's that thing? Oh, prolapsed anus. It looks like a prolapsed anus monster. And because this game is a horror game and not just an FPS game, I do like that they kept me like locked in this room for like a way too long of a time. I was like, what am I supposed to do here? Do I mess with the computer? And then the monster, the prolapsed anus, just jumps in and tries to suck me in, which is the opposite of what a prolapsed anus usually does. I mean, you're trying to pull it back in, but the prolapsed anus is prolapsing out. So it's a very confusing monster, and I was in a very confusing time in my life in this game of fear. It was terrifying. And I was just so happy to see this guy that threw orbs at me again, and it started to make me think about the enemy designs in this game. Now, that's another gripe that I have seen throughout the years about Doom 3, that its enemy designs drifted too far about what was iconic about them, and when you play like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, you can see that they kind of go back to their roots. I think these enemy designs slap. I think they're disgusting. I think they're grotesque. They're all like weird and gooey, and I love this about them. I mean, does it feel at times like I'm playing a different game than Doom? Sort of, but not really. I think this game kind of like comes into its own and differentiates itself enough to where I feel like it's very 2000s, and I'm very nostalgic for that era, and it just works. And like the cool little side shit that I kept running into, it just brought the charm back to this game to where I don't understand how people could truly hate this game. I mean, when I walk into a room and there's just a pentagram on the floor, and I'm like, these scientists were doing something other than just chess club, baby. They were summoning demons. And I mean, we're not even that far into the game, and I've already seen so much cool crap that it just keeps throwing at me, and I'm so in love with it. I mean, around any corner I could see something cool, and I love that this game does that. I mean, yeah, is it a little tight compared to a lot of the older Doom games? Absolutely, but there's something about it to where I know that I can walk into a room and some guy will just be spread eagle, chest out, gooing on the floor. He's a goober. He's a goo master, and then monsters will come in while he's screaming in pain. And I know that that's not the only time I'm going to see something like this. At every second, I am getting hum on my toes because of how much excitement is around every single corner that I'm just spraying it everywhere. I mean, I have just a whole floor that's 3 inches of just straight semen. And how is that humanly possible? I drink a lot of water. But as any logical person would do in a creepy situation like this, I think I need to go find a stall in a bathroom and just kind of compose myself. Maybe look in the mirror and just have an existential crisis. It's time. I mean, even though I'm like trying to get there and stuff's popping in my way and teleporting in and summoning the depths of hell, I'm like, whoa, I gotta find this bathroom. I gotta rub one out so that I can compose myself. I gotta like finger my own pussy. You know what I mean? I gotta really like flick my own penis. And I finally get to the bathroom and I like turn and there's just like vents falling from the ceiling. People are all over the place. I mean, at one point I was like even looking at the mirror in my peripherals, and I'm like, oh, there's a person over there, but it's not a person, it's a mirror. And I was just all sorts of creeped out, and there's just demons everywhere. I'm like, the bathroom was a terrible place to go. Why did I go here? And after this I was like, okay, it's gonna get better, and spiders show up. Freaking demon spiders. I mean, the shotgun finally had a perfect use for this area, is the killing demon spiders, and they had the correct amount of legs. I think, I don't know, I didn't count them. I wasn't like worried about counting legs while I was getting just ham blasted and jizzed on with spider seed, you know. As the old saying goes, everything's all fine and dandy until a spider jizzes in your mouth. But as I progressed through here, I did run into a section that I'm kind of warming us up for. I mean, shooting spiders is fun. Just prepare yourself, because that's fun. But what's coming up next, ooh, is way more fun than you ever thought anything would be. Oh, I'm warming you up. I'm gonna make sure you're real warm for this next part. Have you ever played the claw game from shitty arcades in Doom? No? Well, this game has you do it for an obscene amount of time. It's only one area that I played this claw game, but God, is it fucking slow. I sped this up to like 3 times the speed, and dear Christ, every time you hit this button, and you can't really see what's going on in this background that much, because unlike other games where it locks you in on the controls and then you can look at things, Doom's like, no, we're immersive, baby. You have to pull the buttons like that. And I did end up getting a machine gun after this, so not like a regular machine gun, but like a minigun, and those are fucking made for just eating up some clit, or are like stroking some shaft, you know what I mean? They really get the job done. I mean, nothing turns me on like a rotating cylinder of bullets, right? Those are freaking awesome. I love me a cool minigun, and this thing looks kind of cool in a very Doom 3 way. I feel like I have to preface that because like Doom 3 just has this weird design that I just kind of vibe with this whole time. Everything's a little bit rounded and like oddly smooth, like a fresh shaven vagina. I don't know. It's very Doom 3. If that makes any sense. The guns are the guns for the game that it's in. I know, I'm a genius. But anyways, I found this little doctor that I could have like activated a chamber, and I'm pretty sure that would have killed him, or I could have like let him out. And I was like, you know, I'm feeling like a nice guy. I've already killed enough scientists in this playthrough. Let me see what saving him has to do. And if I could give you one piece of advice, is to save this jabroni, because he's sitting in a little office and being a little dweeb. Like, look at his little glasses. But he opens you this door, and it's just a room full of guns. I mean, this scientist, this goober, was secretly a gun guy the whole time. He's a gun fanatic, and I love that about him. I mean, look at all that. Look at all that arsenal of ammo I needed. I mean, perfect. I love when I save somebody's life and they reward me with weaponry. That is how everything should work. Oh, somebody's while crossing the street and there's a car coming, and I like stop them from getting ran over, and they're just like, well, here's an AK, and I'm like, whoa, this is what America's about, baby. But after that, I start pushing my way further through, and I'm ramming as many bullets up the anuses of the monsters that I possibly could. And then I see it. I see the two people I'm trying to catch up to, and the bro fires off the BFG, and I blast it off in my pants at the exact same moment. So I need to catch up with him, because I need that weapon. The one that fires the green seed into the everspace, and then impregnates everything so hard that they explode. And that's exactly how the BFG functions. And if you think that some way he can prove me wrong, then you should pan on to sand up your genitals and then ram it in there with razor blades for all I care, because I'm right and you're wrong. But unfortunately, and fortunately for me, that I don't get the BFG, but I do get a very sick boss fight. Because as soon as I open the door and I get to see a cutscene, I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be a boss fight. What am I fighting? And a big spider comes in, and I'm like, that's kind of lame. I've already fought regular spiders. And then I find out that it's a spider with tits? What? A double D-cup spider? Of course I like this boss fight now. It's got titties, and everything's better with boobs. I mean, look how succulent they are from this succubus. This is insane. Or no, succubuses are like, I don't know, it's a succubus. I'm gonna call it a spider succubus. So I'm fucking the spider succubus up with my fucking 8 barrels of chaos and just plow hafting it through. I mean, think how much better off this demon would be if, instead of trying to kill me and deal with my minigun, if it would have just tried to seduce me. I mean, look how sexy it is, other than the fact that it's attached to a spider. It's like the top half, man, bacon. It's like a mermaid. Nobody wants to actually have sex with a mermaid. They're like, from the like head down, you're pretty hot, but I don't want any of that fish pussy, that fushy. After this, I get another cutscene where a bunch of Marines are being taint flowers all over the place, or taintosauruses, where they can't seem to kill anything and do nothing but die. It's like, why am I the only guy, the guy who can't even show up on time at the beginning of the game? Why am I the only guy who can actually kill something at all? Everybody else sucks at this, other than the guy with the BFG. And if he couldn't kill anything, he would be an absolute moron, because he's got the best gun in the game. These guys literally cause a cause and effect of just blowing a bunch of shit up without even hitting any monsters. I mean, look what kind of situation you put me in. I gotta fix everything. I did find a plasma gun, though, which I thought was pretty sick on the way to go fix this mess that all these dumb Marines caused. And I found this girl that she was just chilling. She was kind of hot for, like, this game's engine. I mean, like, she had some sexiness, only to turn into a zombie. And she didn't even turn in, like, she didn't even get to be, like, a full zombie. Her head just ripped out of her body, which are, like, supposed to be the skulls that fly at you in the older Doom games, which I think this has a lot, like, coolerness, which might be a hot take, but I like the fact that all these heads I know came off of somebody who was working at this facility. Not to mention that the plasma gun just fucking eats ass, bro, and I'm not even a guy that likes that type of stuff, but I'm willing to toss a salad if this is what it's like. Shooting this gun, ooh, I will get into some chocolate starfishes to be able to have this feeling again. But enough about butt play. One thing that is going on during this whole time I've been talking is some guy's been talking in my ear, kind of guiding me through this process. He's like my commanding officer or something, telling me, I think he's one of the guys that's got like the case in the BFG. I'm not quite sure who it is. All I know is he's my commanding officer, the guy that looks down on me, and he's like, hey, you better do what I say. And I'm like, all right, I'll listen. I mean, you kept me alive this far, and I'm kind of trying to stop the demons from taking over Mars so then they don't try to take over Earth. I mean, that's kind of my job because I'm a Marine. I don't think any Marines ever thought, wow, I'm going to go kill demons now. But anyways, I am act of the gods. And I run into more Marines along the way. Like this one, I was like kind of running through, and this guy just kind of shows up all beat up, and I'm like, oh no, you were one of the guys from earlier. I thought you all died. And this guy, I was like, oh, finally a friend. I can finally have a friend in life. But as soon as the camera pans back to me, you see the little demon jump down, and you know what's gonna happen. I'm not allowed to have any friends. I gotta sit here alone and kill demons by myself. No friends are allowed in Doom 3. And I do like that right after this, I get to go do a little moonwalking. The one issue I have whenever you go outside is your oxygen is never enough. Like, you can get from point A to B. It's like enough oxygen to get you to the area, but I don't feel like I fully get to explore the outside elements. And I do like these areas. I find them fun, a little bit of difference. I think they're cool, but you never really get to fully enjoy the outside because you're always, like, running out of air. I mean, come on, breathing's overrated anyway. Why can't we just, like, have no oxygen and be fine with it? This is a game where I kill space demons. Why can't I breathe in the atmosphere of Mars? Come on now. One thing I do want to highlight about this area though is this is the one jump scare that got me. Like, I literally tried to shoot it because like I was walking up to the door. I'm like, ooh, cool, a bloody door, and I knew something was gonna jump out at me, but it still got me somehow. And I was not gonna lie, I was pretty hype. And one thing I do want to say too is the very Doom styling when you do see these orb guys. I'm like, these are the one guys that I'm like, I don't know if they look as good as the original or as good as even Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. I think that these weird floating, I can't remember what they're called. There's a name for them, but the floating demons kind of look hilarious. And I don't know. It's just something I wanted to highlight. But look, I got a chainsaw now. It's officially we're playing Doom. And I do love these guys with the chainsaw. Like, of course, the one demons who use chainsaws just don't wear a shirt, because if you're a guy that uses a chainsaw, you just take your shirt off to show your muscles, because all the women thirst for those axe chopping videos. Believe me, I have a wife. They stop and watch like 30 axe chopping videos. Your wife is secretly watching those behind your back and getting all wet in the pantalones for them. But after this, I go through another. This is like the equivalent. You do this little puzzle thing where you run around on this stupid fucking conveyor belt, or it's a lift or whatever, a scissor lift. It's stupid and it's tedious as hell. It's not terrible. It's not like bad mechanics. It's just slow, and anytime it felt like the claw game again. And I didn't even have jokes for it this time. I was just like, oh, we're doing a little crane puzzle again. Like, cool. I mean, it's a different type of crane, but whatever. I don't know. It was just kind of cringe. But what isn't cringe is I found one of these floating skull things that make me like a punching god. Who cares about turkey punch anymore when I can punch you in the anus? I can punch you in the balls. I can punch you in the fucking urethra. All the punching is happening and it just explodes these little pussies. Explodes these little ball hair losers. All sorts of power I consumed into the essence of my being that radiates through my taint. It just, like, did you see that guy he's gonna get me with a chainsaw? Well, suck it. As I finally get closer to communications, I did run into this adorable little truck. Well, you'll see it in a second. Just, you saw it for a bleep there, but let me kill this floating testicle before I show you. I mean, just look how cute this thing is. It looks like those like Tonka trucks that you give to like a real small child. Not like the grown Tonka trucks where it looks like the real thing, but no, those like ones that you give to kids that are actually like squishy. I don't know. It just looks like I want to grab it and it's going to be a plushie. I just think it's just adorbs. But after this, I do get one of like the most beautiful like scenic views in the game that I had seen thus far, and this game started to make me really realize why I'm still engaged with it. Does a lot of the scenery look similar? Yes, but it's different enough to keep you pushing forward. And at this point, I start to realize why the comms are down. It might be because they're on fire. Now, I'm no electrician by any means. I mean, I haven't gone to like electrician school, but if I walk into a comms room and I just see like everything charged garden burning, there's a good chance that I'm going to use my Batman pre-knowledge of, like, being a detective to realize this shit is fucking burnt and we can't use it. So after this, I have to go to another room that can still send this transmission to Earth, which I'm still not that cool with because I'm like, we have demons up here. Why would we, like, get more people to come to this shithole? But hey, I do what I do's with shiny 22s, and I bees what I bees with brand new Bentleys. So I go through these little hallways trying to get to the new comm station, and I have like the most epic time with the chainsaw right here. I mean, the red flashing lights are happening, and I go into this room, I take this fat fuck and like trim some weight off of him, and then all these guys just start funneling into my chainsaw blade. I mean, this is perfect. I even got an achievement for being so badass with the chainsaw, and it seems like almost every achievement I get in this game has a little like diamond logo, because I'm playing on Xbox, and I'm like, why am I getting all these like rare achievements? I feel like more people need to play this game, and the platforming really ramps up in this area a little bit, especially with this, like, I mean, this looks kind of like a scary prostate exam of a machine. I mean, could you imagine that? You're just at the doctor's office. I don't use my finger anymore. I use the shaft with a spinning blade on the end of it, and you're never okay to shit again. It just comes out like just blasts out of your anus. You have to wear a diaper 24/7. Now, I know I've talked about my little spider buddy a million times throughout this video, but I really want it to be known. You know, Star Wars has R2-D2, and he's a bitch compared to my little spider buddy. I mean, you look at C-3PO, bitch compared to my spider buddy. The new Star Wars movies, whatever the stupid little ball droid is, lame, not cool, not my little spider buddy with a giant gun on its head that looks kind of like Alien combined with a spider. This thing is awesome. Anytime I do one of these little sections, it doesn't feel like it's like you're already going that way. It's nice to have a little help sometimes, and it really adds to like the coolness. I mean, you'll be like walking through the area and the spider will like turn around and it'll start killing the thing behind you that was gonna sneak up and then like rectumly examine you with its monster penis. I mean, it's really nice to have that little helper along the way, and so things can't catch you off guard, considering this game is constantly trying to sneak up on you and scare you. But I get to the new communication relay zone, and I put the little, like, I don't know what those are called, like an 8-track tape or something in there, and all of a sudden, good bald guy pops up on the screen, and he's like, hey, if we get more humans to come here, and some of them end up going back to Earth, we could spread this demon plague to Earth. We don't know what's going on, and we need to contain the issue here before we ever try to get anybody else involved. And I'm like, that's what I've been saying. I thought this was stupid from the get-go, so obviously I canceled the transmission, because I don't want more of Earth to die from demons. I mean, that's just plainly obvious. Oh, I'm gonna bring in more people and have them die. I mean, look at the Marines that have already tried to help me. They've all died. They all suck. And so I start heading over to this, like, train, supposedly, and, like, the bridge collapses because demons are dickheads. But every time I am outside in this game, more than the other Doom games, when I'm on, like, the surface of Mars, I truly see the inspiration that Doom 2016 pulled from this game. I mean, the early sections of that game feel so much like Doom 3. And I just think that's great, because a lot of people, like, when Doom 2016 came out, they're like, oh, they finally understood what made Doom great, and they forgot about Doom 3, and I'm like, no, you see a lot of influence from Doom 3 in Doom 2016, and I love that. And again, like, this dude hanging from the ceiling and stuff, just that eeriness that this game brings compared to the older Dooms, you see that more in Doom 2016, so I see more of this in the modern Dooms than I see the old Doom games. But I do see a lot of the old Doom games. It's not like I'm writing them off completely. I do think they're amazing, and they are, like, the enemy designs are definitely there in the modern Dooms. This one has its own, like, weird H.P. Lovecraft skin, and it took me a long time to realize that, but it was when I saw this skeleton guy, and I was like, that's fucking it. It's Doom meets H.P. Lovecraft. I finally figured it out. I mean, the other Dooms are just kind of like demon looking, right? It was like basic zombie demon looking stuff, and this game was like, well, what if it had more of an H.P. Lovecraft design? And I actually really am a sucker for H.P. Lovecraft type shit. And another thing I wanted to highlight here is this is one of those puzzles where I walk along pipes and I walk all around the little area, and I really use the corridor design to its full benefit, and this is something I love. These are the type of puzzles I love in this game, not the fucking claw ones. I just wanted to highlight that because I have fun when I'm running around looking for the switches, crawling on weird pipes, pipes and, oh, the ground's lava. I like that type of shit. And I think it's a good course in situational awareness. That's something this game does brilliantly. You'll walk into an area, oh no, there's poison or something. Okay, well I have to go up on these pipes. I gotta go up this ladder. I gotta hit a switch. I gotta run back around, get back to the bottom, and then proceed through the level. And I think that's really, really genius. Another short section that I wanted to highlight from this little area of the playthrough is this cave of spiders. I love this. You know, the first time you see the spiders, it is kind of creepy, but you're in this area you've already seen before, kind of. You're in the same hub that you began the game. To go into this, you're diving deeper into the depths of Mars, figuring out what happened, trying to get to the cause of the problem. We are finally breaking through, just getting to communications and basic bullshit. Now we're getting to the heart of the problem. And I think that this little biome showing you that you are diving deeper beneath the depths, and by using the cave surroundings, I think it's really, really smart. And I mean, there's something else about caves. It's almost like birth, bro. It's just kind of cool. You're going through a wet, damp tunnel. I don't know. But again, I go to the outside again, and this is one of the biggest outside zones I have faced yet. And I have a rocket launcher, which is hype. I mean, the rocket launcher is pretty good in this game. It's really good for taking out the skeleton guys with the jetpacks and rocket launchers. But you can really, really see the influence this game had on Doom 2016 in this section. Now, I mentioned it before, and I've mentioned it a couple times, at least in this section of the game, is I am getting such hardcore 2016 boner files for this area. It is just, I love Doom 2016. I think it's one of my favorite games. I think this game has a little bit better story, but I just, right here, feels like one of the opening levels in Doom, and I think it's fucking amazing, dude. It's just really great. I really enjoyed this. When I was outside, I was just getting like flashbacks to 2016 again. I'm like, oh no, there's an election or something political probably happening in the world. Oh, crazy, I'm gonna play Doom. But now the creepy fucking bald blind man shows up, and he entraps you, and he's like, oh, you think you can get closer? You're a pesky little termite, aren't you? Well, I kill bugs, you stupid son of a bitch. I use my massive penis to swing it down and smash you with the tip. And he summons in a bunch of demons and starts filling the area with gas. What a douchebag. Like, what a little bitch. He's like, oh, you think you can mess up my plans from sending comms to Earth and bringing the soldiers here, and then me sending the demon plague to Earth? And I'm like, wow, I'm really glad I didn't send the communications now. What an idiot I would have been. I mean, this could be one of those games where either decision I make, I just get a slight dialogue change, but I still feel kind of gratified in my decision now from not calling Earth to come to Hell Zone and then plaguing the entire Earth with fucking demons. I feel like I was kind of smart for doing that. But as I progress through this demon-infested, gas zone, this game is really ramping up at this point. I mean, it seems like demons have coated every wall of this place. Just like your penis when you go into a vagina gets coated in vaginal fluid. That is how I feel with demons running through this section. And it's kind of heightened because you're trying to get through this area quick so that you don't get like eaten by the gas. So I really like this tension it's bringing. Not to mention that this part starts throwing creepy ass babies with wings at you. They're babies that are like half baby, half robot with fly wings. What kind of sadistic fuck created these? I mean, Jesus, it's making me like rethink my whole stance on abortion. I mean, that sounds awful. I made an abortion joke. Well, look at me, moving up in the world. But right here, I finally get to an area where the shit hits the cunt. You know what I mean? Like, it gets real nasty. All sorts of UTIs are about to happen when these big guys with guns for arms. Another thing that I love Doom, but I never memorized the names of their enemies. But these guys are insane. They're kind of fun to fight because they're not the hardest to dodge their ammo, but if you catch yourself lacking, you will get ass blasted by one of their blasters. And I do like that this one actually, it starts it out making you think it's going to be a boss fight, but in reality it's just an introduction to a new enemy. I do like the way this game does that, because like every time you meet a new enemy you get these little cinematics and you're like, oh, is this a boss fight? Nope, this is just level progression. And I think that's really genius. I think it really highlights the feeling of fear in this game and dread, because you don't know whether you're going to be seeing this enemy constantly over again in the sheer moment, or if this is just a one-time thing. And the game kind of like hits you with the off the hand fucking fucking dick slap, and you're like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna probably see these guys a bunch. Oh, or this is just a boss fight, a spider with tits. I like that. I think it really goes to the narrative of this game. Not to mention when they're spawning in babies with wings. I am always creeped out. These guys kind of came out of nowhere. They didn't get a cutscene or anything, so they don't do it for every enemy, but the ones they do, it seems meaningful for, and the ones they don't, it just seems to add tension, and I really like that. I think it was an incredible gameplay design and touch. I think it was something that adds tension. It works well with the narrative. Brilliant. Everything about this game so far that I have played, I don't understand why it gets the hate that it does. I think that everything was done intentionally. It's well designed. I think the engine is beautifully brilliant. I mean, yeah, it shows its age when you see like the character designs and stuff, but when you're going level to level, I think that this game holds up a lot better than most games of this time period. I mean, even with like Halo 2, one of my favorite games of all time, I play it on the remastered edition because I think it looks better. The original Halo 2, everybody like looked kind of goofy and weird, and this game, everybody looks pretty okay. I mean, does it have like the perfect graphics like today? No, but it does work really well. So after I run up here, I finally get to shut off the stupid gas vents, effectively throwing a dildo in the gears of my evil villain's plan. Take that, evil villain, you get a 12 inches of happiness right into your gears. But little do I know, at this exact moment, the evildoer has a plot cooking up, and as I moves into a cutscene, I see him take out a soldier, one of my own, who's everybody seems to not be able to handle any sort of enemy, even a scientist, and he slowly changes him into, like, the big chungus of demons. I mean, just look at this weird goofball. So now that the game has let me know that they have a little goofball coming after me, I get on a train, and how do I love trains? Oh, Gold Thomas over here, just gonna go rolling down the tracks, me, my machine gun, oh, my fun's about to happen, some guy in a big old military helmet that's a demon's gonna try to kill me. How adorable. I get this gorgeous view that's just kind of really making my train ride really mean something, and then this loser has to talk to me, who's been hiding in the back of the train, saying stuff like, oh, I'm so scared. I was waiting for my friend, but he never came. Suck it, bitch. You don't have any friends. They're dead. Everyone sucks at killing demons, apparently, except for me. But after telling him he's a little bitch and he needs to grow up, I go back to my gorgeous view, because that's what this game's about, is the gorgeous scenery of Mars. We're not here to kill demons. We're here to enjoy the natural beauty of Mars. You mean, like, where you look outside and you're like, on my left, there's dirt, and on my right, oh, there's more fucking dirt. But I get to one of my first stops, and I tell the old jabroni in the bee in the back, stay classy, you little pussy, and I go and do a little bit of, exploring around, you know, the typical train stop type stuff. I go and find the conductor, give him a handy. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Why did you just pull my pants down and start grabbing my dick? Don't you know this is sexual assault? And I'm like, my bad. Did not know the rules of the railroad. Time to find a waitress and grab her by the pussy. Wait, I can't do that? No, that's sexual assault too. Oh man, this railroad thing has really got me all topsy-turvy. But anyways, I get back to the train and old buddy is without a head and limbs and his spine's ripped out, and I don't think there's anything I can do for him, really. I think he's just pretty much fucking dead. And I killed one spider, so it looks like one spider was able to overtake this man. Like, he couldn't do anything against a single goddamn spider. What a doofus. But my train seems to be going a little bit faster than it should be at this point. I mean, maybe I shouldn't have done all those terrible, heinous things to all the people at the train stop. I really, they probably messed with my train a little bit. Oh, God, it wrecked. My train wrecked. It's a train wreck. But I walk out of that shit unscathed. I mean, I don't even have, like, a strain on my taint hairs. I am fully okay. Nothing could even, like, sort of mess with me there. And I begin my new journey, because obviously I'm not riding trains anymore. They didn't like that. Oh, no, I gotta go kill people. So I do a quick inventory check. I get a grenade, a pulse rifle. Oh yeah, that still works. Make sure it's reloaded. You gotta make sure your pulse rifle is reloaded. You don't want to go into an area with an unloaded pulse rifle. What am I, a doofus? No. And then I get my rocket launcher out, make sure it's got the ammo. Got my machine guns, both of them. Hey, keeping them pretty classy. And then I open a door, and one guy's there, but, well, I guess it was a couple guys. A couple guys tried to gangbang me. They're gonna give me the old spit roast. And then I tried to kill my first pop machine, which is weird. Usually I try to kill pop machines earlier. Found out they are indestructible, which is kind of lame, kind of bogus. And then there he is, Mr. Military Hat Squidward Arm that was supposed to be so intimidating in the cutscene. Really isn't that scary. I gotta put them down with ease. I thought they were gonna be like big Goombas, and they're not Goombas, they're little Goombas. And I find this little machine that has like all sorts of things. Basically, I couldn't use it at this point. The game was like, hey, doofus, maybe you shouldn't be a frickin' moron. Maybe you should go back home, go back to your mom, and then just go back to being a little baby bitch. And that's what the game made me feel like. No, but seriously, about these things that you go up to and then it doesn't work, it tries to disguise itself as more modern, right? But at its core, it's still Doom. You're still going and finding keys and finding cards and hitting buttons. It's the same Doom we grew up with, just with a very flashy coat of paint on it. Really great, like, whatever this is, like fucking digital bullshit into the atmosphere. It's got this charm and modernness to it, but it's still Doom at its core, and I really do appreciate that. Even with all its horror coatings and it's like fucking jump scares and its Squidward armed douchebags, it's still just Doom, and that's what makes this game so fucking epic, because it's a part of the greatest series to ever be put on video games at all, period. And I mean, talking about atmosphere on this game, which I have talked about a bunch throughout my playthrough of this game that you've seen so far, the blood and the gore everywhere and the insanely, like, good imagery just puts this game at a much higher level in my mind than a lot of the other Dooms. Do I think it has better mechanics than Doom Eternal and Doom 2016? Absolutely not. Those games have way better shooting. This game has really good shooting, but I like those games a little bit better in terms of mechanics. But in terms of atmosphere, I think this game beats those two. I mean, they're different, you know. The modern Doom and Doom Eternal, they feel like a rebirth of the old, right? And this game feels like it tried to do something experimental, tried to utilize everything that they had like learned and created in the Quake games, because I've recently been going back and playing those. I really see the influence of Quake into Doom 3, and I like that. I actually really like that this is kind of the love child between original Doom and older Quake games, and it just like bred itself into being this crazy, insane game, and it just, you can see it in all the imagery. I mean, if you've played Quake 2, you can see Quake 2 in this game, almost every corner, and I love that. To me, it just seems crazy that people kind of hate on this game as much as, not anymore. People look at it a little bit more rose-tinted glasses now, but when this game was before Doom 2016, people talked about Doom 3 as a step back, as a step in the wrong direction for the franchise, and I never played the game because of that. I had this mentally built into my mind that Doom 3 was the mid-Doom. I don't know, I didn't know that this game was actually a fucking bona fide classic from what I've played so far, what I'm currently pushing through. But I mean, look at this crazy ass machine. I mean, this type of cool ass like scenery and cool ass enemies popping up while you're trying to, like, you got cool background shit going on. You got cool shit that you're doing on screen. You got cool navigational stuff where you're moving around ladders, you're doing environmental puzzles. But not like real environmental puzzles, but like environmental searching and exploration. Yes, I know this is in true exploration. I know this isn't like deep, like fucking Prey 2017 where you just explore the whole time, and this is more of a linear experience. But there's moments where I almost forget that it's a linear experience and feel like I'm just exploring the zones on my own. Like, this is all my choices leading to opening these little areas and exploring these little zones. I mean, even when I go into, like, cool hallways, it's stuff like this where the game, like, truly makes me think that I'm like, discovering something. I'm just walking into a room and all of a sudden this shit happens and I'm like, oh shit, oh yeah, I'm actually, like, progressing the story and stuff. I'm not just walking around exploring the fucking facilities of this bitch, and that's cool to me. But anyway, back to the story at hand. I meet this loser scientist who looks just like the last loser scientist that I left on a train and died. tells me that I need to find this power core so that I can start up this teleporter, which sounds exciting to me. I'm like, ooh, teleporter, I wonder where it's going to send me. Is it going to send me into your mom's ass? Ooh, I gotcha! But one thing I want to kind of get out of the way right here that I wanted to talk about kind of is the fact that a lot of the NPCs look alike. This dude, like I said, looks just like the jabroni I left over on the train. And that is one gripe I have about this game, is you will meet a lot of people that look almost fucking identical. It's like they took 5 character models and then just copied them 16 times through the game. And that's something that, like, with Prey, another game made off of this engine, I thought Prey did a really good job of making things look different, making the characters you interact with feel different. And in this game, it almost feels like I'm fucking with the same scientist over and over again. It's either old bald guy with glasses, weird Asian dude, fucking loser with the flat top. It's just the same shit on repeat. But I ended up getting to this room, right? That was like a little puzzle, and I was like, oh, it's got another fucking claw machine game, and I was gonna get annoyed until I pulled one of the boxes, and I noticed how it swung along that line, and I'm like, huh. And I noticed when I came into the room that there was like bullshit up on top of this other side. There's like ammo and stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'll hit the button and then I will get on the claw. It'll pick me up. It'll swing me over. And I loved this. This was actually a fun claw machine game. I'm like, way to fucking go, Doom. You did a really good puzzle. And it wasn't slower than fucking molasses crawling down up my fucking spine. Thank God. Not that the puzzles weren't fun. They were just incredibly slow. But this is where shit got real. I found this room, and in that room had a BF fucking G. So instantly Google came up, and I did some and looked it up the code to this room because like I didn't want to listen to everything on the PDA because that's a lot, and I fucking got myself the BF fucking G. Yeah, baby. It's about fucking time, man. I've been dying to get my pretty little hands on this fucking bad mamma jamma. And whoa, look at that green fucking splurge blasting into their faces. What a cum shot to remember. And that's probably the one time you'll see this at for a while, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna waste my ammo on that gun. I mean, I did find a prison though that was pretty cool. I mean, on a sidetrack note, I found this little prison with a bunch of dead people, and I was like, holy shit. They really, these scientists really fucked with these demons. They had them in, I feel like they had demons in these fucking jail cells, and this is why the government shouldn't be fucking handling demons. It's just, if we can go, it's like Skynet or anything. When you start seeing these fucking losers start experimenting on shit, you know bad stuff's about to go down. But I finally get the core, and I bring it to old fucking jabroni over here, and I decide, I'm like, oh, I'll get a teleport. And I was so excited for this teleportation. I'm not gonna lie, I go through this little room that fucking decontaminates me. Well, my AIDS is cleared. Wow, congratulations. Poor Doom guy had the AIDS, and they've fixed it with space magic. And here began the moment that I've been waiting for, the moment that I searched for. I'm finally inputting the codes. I'm inputting the codes, baby, and the teleporter's firing up. Oh man, here comes the teleporting blood Lake Canyon. I'm going down. It looks like I'm coming out of the uterus, bro. I'm getting birthed, and then I'm across the room. I literally am across the room. It was so, like, it looked all cool. It had all this buildup, and I just literally go across the fucking room, dude. And then, like, next hallway, dudes are getting fucking chucked around. And I've said this a million times about this game, but I love the goofy shit like that happens. And right after this, I meet a new enemy type. This guy can, like, spawn in other enemies. And again, I don't know all the names of all the demons in fucking Doom. It would take me too long. I honestly don't care enough to get accustomed with the thing that I'm about to fill with bullets and make my bitch. They're meant to be murdered. I don't care what their fucking name is. What am I gonna have it as a pet? No, fuck that. I did find it weird though that this cool guy that can spawn in other demons didn't get his own cutscene. When the fucking squid arm guy he's just a buff version of the regular fucking demon. Like soldier, he gets a cutscene, but not the guy that can fucking like spawn trap you. The further I get into this lab, like I was saying before, like the experimentation, this dude just does it. He knows that shit's is going down right now. He knows demons are filling up this place probably. He does give me the combo to a fucking room, which what a Chad. I mean, thank you. I didn't actually have to look this one up. He just told it to me, and I'm like, yeah, an NPC is telling me things. I like when people actually talk to me face to face. I don't want to listen to your text messages. I don't want to listen to your voicemails. balls. Just fucking talk to me man to man. Mano el mano. Fucking dick to clitoris. That's what I want to hear. It truly does suck, though, that he's part of the problem. He's one of the main issues with why demons are fucking destroying everything. Because we had to tamper where one shouldn't have gone. It's like, oh, we found out hell's real. Should we go fucking pull demons out of there and then experiment on them on a table? That sounds pretty dope. I think that's a genius idea. Said no one ever. Like, why? What made you want to fucking pull demons out of hell just to fucking give them an autopsy? That's what losers do. And another one of these spawn trappers tried to get me, but he didn't understand that I had a fucking bazooka. And like right after I destroy that guy, I find another chamber full of dead demons. It's like these guys have been doing this for fucking years. Like, why? You didn't think that this was gonna happen? Like, you didn't know you were fucking like playing fast and loose here? I mean, I get it. The one scientist with the bad fucking eye and I'm gonna control hell because I'm evil. I get that that's the reason all this is going on. I know he spearheaded it. But you don't think that the one guy, like when they were having that conversation at the beginning, you don't think he was overseeing it a little bit? Like, we probably shouldn't do this. And he's like, no, trust me, bro. We're gonna bring demons back. And it's like, what the fuck? And like, even when I found this cool thing and I found a machine and I need this cube, he's like, haha, I'm taking it with me to hell. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are you going to hell? Like, who wants to go there? It's not a happy place. Like, what you think you can get there and Satan's gonna be like, what up, my brother? And then give you like the slap-a-dap and then like give you a fucking like fist bump and then like a dick bump? No, that's not what's gonna happen. Hell does not slap clit. Heaven slaps clit. That's where you should want to go. Why are you like so insistent on bringing hell to earth? Like, why? Nobody cares. What, you think you do this and then Ozzy Osbourne's gonna be your homie? No, shut the fuck up, bald bitch. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a cool, ominous villain, and I don't need to know his fucking sad backstory about how he's, like, beaten as a child, and how Satan was the only thing that got him, like, better. I've seen that a million times in modern games where they try to humanize the fucking villain, and it's like, can't we just have, like, a villain like the Joker used to be that was just, like, crazy and did fucked up shit for no reason? I liked that. I don't need to know the fucking life story of these douchebags. But in terms of personality, this dude doesn't have a lot of depth. I mean, he's pretty about as deep as fucking, I don't know, put in a funny sex pun here or something. I don't know. The more funny thing that's going on is I literally played Ring Around the fucking office table against a demon. That's hilarious. And then I walked into literally a gaping, fucking, menstruating vagina of a hallway. That's even funnier. Those are better sex jokes, not about fucking loser McBaldy. That's lame. I did like the scenery here. I like that this game keeps ramping up the blood and ramping up the hell imagery. After I go through my 872nd teleporter, I finally go to a place that's actually kind of cool. I mean, it wasn't bad before, but it was kind of just like teleporter fucking puzzles. And it's annoying because I have to go through so many load screens. And like, not that I hate load screens, they're still better than crawling through goddamn cracks in the wall or cracks in your mom's anus, just kind of lame. But I get to this hallway and dear God, looks like somebody menstruated everywhere and then used that menstruation blood to write on the walls. And it's just like, this is a grotesque ass area. The thing I said earlier about this game ramping up the hell shit is like hitting a fucking pier. I know I'm going to hell soon, and I'm so excited for it. I mean, this game's just kind of like speed running me there at this point. I mean, this atmosphere is juicing on me, baby. I'm getting gooed. I'm gooning so hard in this area, bro. I mean, the pants I was wearing in this area were as stiff as a freaking plywood, dude. Just straight up boing hard. And starting from here, this is where I think this is the best Doom atmosphere in a game, period. I mean, I know people will argue with me in the comments, which please do. I would appreciate it. I love any comment I get. But this is, to me, where this game became the best, atmospherically the best Doom. I mean, I'm not going to argue on gameplay gameplay bullshit, because obviously the other Dooms are better. And at this point, dude, I'm finally excited to finally meet a monster that deserves the goddamn BFG. I'm gonna BFG all over its freaking mouth. I'm gonna BFG all over its titties, baby. I mean, I was so excited to finally run into the monster that's on the cover of the game. I was amped, dude. I mean, and this is where, like I said, the gameplay isn't quite as good, because I feel like the BFG isn't quite as powerful as it is in other Dooms. But I blasted those guys, and I finally get sucked into hell, only to have all of my weapons taken away. Now, one of my biggest gripes in older video games, and even shooters to this day, is when they take all of your weapons away and make you start from scratch. I think it's false difficulty spike. I don't believe that it's an actual difficulty spike. Yeah, they add more enemies, and you get like the normal difficulty spike, but also the fact that they yank away all of your previously built ammo and arsenal, and I'd saved all this like different ammo and stuff. It pissed me off. I hate that, and it does make up for it in the atmosphere it brings, because again, this is the best hell I have seen in a game almost, period. I mean, Dante's Inferno is my peak hell, right? That's one of my favorite games that showcases hell, and I think this competes with it in atmosphere. I mean, I love the way that the maps kind of molding along your journey and constantly evolving. It was just so sick, and I mean, just the way it'll like present enemies to you. And yeah, it kind of sucks because I had saved up all of these BFG shots, and here I'm fighting this guy without the BFG, and I'm like, come on, dude. Like, are you fucking serious? I don't know. I hate when games take away my weapons, especially in a game that's not like where you get 2 weapons, everything. Like Call of Duty, I don't care. Halo, I don't really care. But in Doom, it really bothers me because you spend the whole game building an arsenal to lose it. And again, though, it's like this give and take, because I still loved this area. It's not like it ruined the whole experience, because like look at what I'm looking at. Look how gorgeous this is. I mean, this is like seeing Jennifer Lawrence's tits in that movie Red Sparrow. Was it kind of a weird, fucked up scene? Absolutely. It had great atmosphere, but they were still amazing tits, and I was very happy to see them. Just like this area. Is it the most opportune time to see all this stuff? No, but is it cool as shit still? Absolutely. I mean, every second that I spent in hell in this area, I was just fucking immersed. My immersion was just at top tier. Not to mention when I pick up the power up to punch demons to death. Best punch demon to death power up I've ever picked up in a Doom game. I mean, look at this, dude. I'm running around in these big freaking giant demons that usually are a pain to kill with the guns they've given me. If I have the BFG, they're a joke. But oh man, I'm just plowing through them. I'm fisting their anuses. This is like the turkey puncher mini game, but with more blood. Yes, I love it. I love it. Look at me just juice this guy to death. I mean, bro, I just burned so many calories from the amount of punching I did there. And like every little like goofball thing that they put in here, like this giant falling thing looks like the thing from Mario. I don't remember what those blocks are called that are always just mashing you to pieces. It's got one of those, but it's like cooler. It's doomier. It's got all the doom and doomy on it. I love it. I loved it. I loved this whole hell area. I just, the whole game could have been this, and I would have I would probably exploded from too much semen in my pants. I probably would have just frozen over and became like stone. I would have been Medusa. They would have Medusa'd me. But right around the time I start getting toward the end, I feel it. I feel it deep down in my sack. I know any women watchers would be feeling it right down deep in their clit. I get to the end and I see the soul cube thing that has all sorts of spikes and shit on it. I'm like, cool. And a giant super demon pops out of the ground, which is exciting as shit. And this is kind of a little bit of a gripe for me, a little bit of a down zone. I thought I was just supposed to fight this dude straight up like I'd fought every other boss. But come to find out, the way you fight this boss fight is you shoot the fucking the spotlight sperm out of the sky, these little shits here, and once you, and like some guns are terrible on them, and again I was just kind of barely realizing it at this moment. You shoot those out of the sky, an orb pops above his head, you shoot the orb, rinse and repeat, and you run around the whole little area, and there's a lot of BFG cubes. I didn't find the BFG in hell. I was just too enamored with what was going on, and it probably was someplace simple that I just overlooked. I thought I checked everything, but who knows. But I don't know if it would have actually made much of a difference in this boss fight, because like I said, it's not that great. I was highly disappointed with it. It was just kind of rinse and repeat type crap, and I'm not really about that, especially when all the other boss fights in this game that I had seen thus far were sicker than shit. I was like so hyped on almost every little boss encounter or hard enemy encounter, and then this one was just kind of rinse and repeat, fucking glowing orb thing, and I get that was kind of a thing in the time period, and they wanted to change things up, but after the whole run of hell, it was just like, I don't know, I wanted more. I wanted a little more. But after that, I obtain the soul cube, the cube of souls, and I go on my merry way. I go on, it tells me to go back to where I had henceforth come. I have to part an adieu to this beautiful, beautiful hellscape that I have grown to love so much on kind of a downward note, which makes me sad, but at the same time, look at what I'm looking at, man. I mean, this game's just so goddamn gorgeous that I can't stay mad at you. And I do see a lot of the influence that this game had on Doom 2016. I've said that a million times. I feel like this game influenced those games more than any of the others, even though people like to pretend that it didn't. And after I get out of the stupid teleporter, again, the game has stolen my goddamn guns! Like, I didn't even build up that much of an arsenal in Hell. Like, what are we doing here? I barely get all my guns back to then lose them all over again and handle a bunch more enemies. But this time I got a little shiny cube that pops up every once in a while and I can use as a weapon. Now the way this works is somebody shows up, I go run through all my weapons, pull up my little cube, throw it at them, and it one-shots them. It one-shots almost every single enemy in the game. It's incredibly fantastic. And eventually I do find the old guy, bald guy with glasses, the good guy, and he has been better. He is not looking that good. I mean, he's all sorts of tore up. I found out the sergeant guy that was running with him has been corrupted, and he's out there doing something. I don't know. And I basically get his key card and told to go fucking save the day. I'm fucking superhero, and it gives me a quick little cutscene showing old fucking sergeant guy looking all crazy, walking around with his BFG, which I seriously want because they keep taking mine. But as of now, I have a new goal. Get the BFG, stop Hell. I like this. And I do have to say, even though I was kind of disappointed with coming back to the whatever Mars bullshit I'm in, I did like that Hell kept seeping its way into the environment. It was something that was kind of doing before, but it was definitely doing now. Hell has officially been breaking its way onto Mars, and the whole goal of Hell is to get back Earth, because at one time, before the Dark Ages, millions and millions of years ago or some shit, Hell ran Earth, and now it wants to rerun it, and the fucking weird scientist guy is kind of leading the charge to bring that back. I don't know why he wants to do that, because his character depth is about as I don't know, terrible. It's fucking garbage. I don't have a funny metaphor for that. It's just not very deep. But I find old Sergeant Backstabber, old dildo shover, and he has been betrayed by the demon scientist guy. What a shocker. No one saw that coming. And I mean, we all saw it coming. It's just like the end of a porno. We know we're gonna get the face blast. Come on, man. But deep character work aside and losers dying on the ground, we come to one of the coolest looking bridge things I've ever seen in a video game. Now Halo 2 has some of the best bridges in the game. Actually, most Halos do. But this is a really cool Halo. This is a really cool bridge. I really like that the way it works is there's 4 different rooms on this fucking gondola thing. And you go and explore them, you do different things, and you progress through it. I mean, it's not like fucking that deep. It's just a bridge that turns on a swivel, but it's cool looking. And I did have fun in this little area a lot. I mean, considering it looks similar to the rooms you go into, like the storage room looks like the storage room. The other room looks like the other room, and no gangbangs going on. You're not walking in on anybody with their fupa out, nothing crazy. But I did like this little sequence. I thought it was entertaining. I thought this mainly was the bridge that got me hard. That's where it really breaks down to. But I eventually, after checking all the rooms like a good little gamer that I am, I decided to check the last one, the one that's on the very opposite side of the room of where I got on this big bad mamma jamma. I loved what was coming up next. See, I had a feeling something big was about to happen, and as soon as I open up this area and I see this tank guy coming through, I was like, yes, a boss fight. And I desperately needed this one to be fun. And I ran off of the platform right away like a dumbass. It was not my brightest moment, but this time I went in prepared. I got all the old cube of souls out. He fired the old fucking BFG after me, which I know that I have to kill him so that I can get that back because the game keeps taking it from me, and I just let him have it, dude. I was like unleashing an arsenal, and I try to maintain the middle of the room the best that I can because I didn't want to fall off of the platform again like an absolute Nimrod, and I just freaking pounded rockets into his his bussy so hard. No bussy has ever been destroyed as much as I destroyed his bussy. I mean, look at how grotesque this guy is. The Doom 3 engine is truly peak when it comes to enemy design. I will die on that hill. I mean, name a game with cooler enemy design than both Doom 3 and Prey 2006. I'll wait. It's not happening because, like, these two games had, like, some of the coolest boss enemy, like, the way they look. I mean, just look at this regular guy that they put on the cover of the game. He looks so sick. He looks so sick. Now, a modern game would have made it like look at Prey 2017. Everything looked like the same fucking Venom symbiote bullshit. And then I look at this game and I look at Prey 2006 and I'm like, damn, that's how you do it, boy. That's how you do it. The variety and shit in these games was just amazing, and I love it. And I love the way everything looks. And again, even though the character depth isn't freaking like out of this world, the environmental storytelling is where it's at in this game, dude. And just flowing between the different guns is just so fluid when you get it down packed and smacking some clit. You're just clit slapping. That's what it's happening, and it's great. It's fantastic, and I love it. And that last boss fight, the fact that I actually could fight him like a boss and I wasn't looking for weak points stuff was fantastic too. I mean, just so much Phantasma sick. But anyways, I find this room that kind of like gives me the story of the last Doom games, which I was like, that's kind of cool. We fought off the demons before, and you guys still opened a portal to hell. How dumb can you be? Like, how stupid. But I do like that this game is like setting itself off from the main Doom storyline. It's in the Doom storyline, but you're not the Doom guy, right? You're not the guy from Doom 1 and 2. You're not the guy from Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. And I like that. I like that you can still play those 4 games and this game, and this is like the one time the Doomslayer didn't have to fucking wake up and get busy. It was somebody else for a change. And so after I get that gorgeous view and start moving along, I get on a little yellow submarine that some douchebag band would sing about in the 60s. I hate the Beatles. Here's a hot take for you. The Beatles didn't change rock and make it like what it was going to be. Jimi Hendrix did that. The Beatles just fucking whined. I'm John Lennon. Fucking shut up, dude. You're just a worse version of Bob Dylan, and I don't think he's that great. But I get to this gondola straight out of Halo 2, which, I mean, it was actually kind of better than Halo 2 because I didn't have to fight the buggers, and the buggers are annoying as shit. Oh, when I play Halo 2, you'll hear all about them. Believe me, well, that game's on the docket to be played eventually. But there's something about going deep into holes that has always made me happy. Do with that what you may. What I do really like about this is the further you progress through this facility and you get deeper and deeper, you're uncovering more and more about the secrets that have led up to it. Now, is it groundbreaking storytelling stuff? No, it's very, very by the numbers. I mean, if you've seen sci-fi or horror movies from the 90s, 80s, 2000s, you've seen something similar to this, but playing through it is a very unique feeling because I've seen this in movies, but I have not played this a lot in games, especially from this time period, especially with this type of fun combat. I mean, I was fully engaged, and now I'm not even saving ammo like I was. Like before, I wouldn't have used the BFG because I wanted to save it for a boss fight. Well, the game took my goddamn guns away, so now I have that in my back of my head the whole time, and I'm like, well, I don't have to be as frugal with ammunition because who knows when the game's gonna steal my shit again. Like, this game's like trusting a meth head with a Rolex. You know he's gonna cop that shit. And that's how I feel whenever this game took my guns away. Now, spoilers, I do know from the rest of the game that he doesn't steal my guns, but I will always be butthurt for that for the rest of my life. But again, to play devil's advocate on myself, because you gotta do that to keep yourself honest, at least the game kind of showed to me, hey, you don't need to hoard your ammunition. You should have fun with the game, and I did. This last section of the game, I was just going hog wild. I was letting my freak flag fly. I was clam jamming. I was fucking rocking out with my cock out. You know, all the classics. You know, jamming out with my clam out. I think I said that one. I'm pretty sure I did. But I like that this kind of went from like the station kind of felt very Doom, kind of was a bit of Total Recall, a little of Alien thrown into there, and then you go into this deep area and it kind of feels like I'm like diving into a scary oil rig, and it worked for me a lot. I mean, I was fucking nipple hardening at this point. I was excited to see where this shit goes. The mystery was unfolding before my very eyes. And all of this without an 8-hour cutscene where they do a dialogue dump, which is such an annoying thing that modern games do. I do miss the days where you jump into a game, you get some small dialogue dumps here and there, and the rest of it you had to piece together because you're smarter than the average bear. Don't be an idiot. Learn from your environment, learn from your surroundings. But one area that did give me a little bit of trouble was coming up right here. So I get into this room, and there's these platforms I have to jump on. I jump on the first one, I gotta jump on the second one, I hit the roof, but I'm like, you can't trick me that easy, and then I forget to jump, so it kills me. And I'm like, that sucks. Let's do this again. Let's run it one more time. Give it another run. So I see the platform, I hit the ceiling, and I die. I'm like, God damn it, I gotta get this right. So this time I'm like feeling it deep in my testes, deep in my old baby goo machines, and I almost missed the jump, but I made it. The intensity's growing. I see the next platform. Oh, I remembered the jump that time. Oh, I wait for the last platform, and I'm getting the straight up gooberness going, and I make the last jump, and I'm doing my little lap of victory, and I forget you have to look at the ladder when you want to climb down it. Yeah. So here we go again, very last time, at least I hope. So I make the first jump like a goddamn Giga Chad, bro. I'm a Sigma male on that Andrew Tate grind set, except for I don't kidnap women and put them in my basement. Actually, that was alleged. I don't know if he actually did that. Who knows? I've never seen his actual basement. But I make the last jump, and this time I know what's what. I turn around and slowly creep down the ladder like a goddamn G. I'm the top G, now you can't deal with me. Ooh yeah, baby. Why don't you take some seed? Anyways, so I get in this area, I crawl under a pipe and find this guy who looks like the last 14 Asian guys. The only Asian guy that looked different than all the other ones in this game, which believe me, I'm as offended as you are that this is a thing, was the guy that they made super Asian from the beginning of my video. And I mean, come on. The character design in this game is about as deep as a puddle, bro. It's just all looks the same. But I get to this crane, and this was the first time in this game that a crane section was kind of fun. I mean, the other ones weren't bad. The crane felt too slow. I mean, they would have been way more fun if they would have sped it up. I actually don't hate them. I think they were well designed. I just think that they were a little bit slow. But this one, you just turn the thing, jump down, and I was like, that's it? Wow, this game knows that I got this mode right now that I'm goobering, and I'm fucking grinding. I got this red-pilled tenacity going for me, and it didn't want to slow me down. So I get in the very last depths of it, where I'm turning on some power generators, and this place looks cool. Do you see all the pillars and all the fucking like alien wording on the walls and stuff? I really like the atmosphere. I've said this so many times. You're probably sick of me saying it. I'm fucking glazing this game up right now. But look at these eggs. Somebody's got to glaze this game, or these eggs will never hatch. But after I up my healthage, which this game I don't know if I've actually talked about how you get in health in this game. There's health packs around the game, but there's also these things on the wall, and in this case on the floor, that you can just like juice up your health. It's very similar to if you've played Chronicles of Riddick Butcher Bay, except for it doesn't like stab you in the taint to do it. Which, as much as that animation was cool in Chronicles of Riddick, I do like the fact that I don't have to watch an animation every time I heal myself. Very, very relieving. So even when they're cool, they get annoying. But I go ham knocking into this room, and all of a sudden, all the AR, you know, spider bitches from earlier in the game, the sexy spiders with the big tatas, they dropped 2 of those bitches on my ass, bro. I mean, if 1 wasn't enough, now you got 2. It's kind of weird because this is kind of like a boss room. This is kind of like a boss encounter. They just doubled the enemies from earlier in the game, which I like it a lot. I like this encounter a lot. I had a lot of fun with this because you got to use a lot of the weapons that you didn't have the first go around against them. My only problem with it is, why is this the only other time I'm seeing these spiders? Because they're not that tough of an enemy. And after this, I do find the tomb that we know who's in there. We know who's in that tomb. It's the Doom Slayer from Doom 1 and 2. They're waiting to revive him for when the Earth really needs him, because right now this random Marine can do what the Doom Slayer does. It's not that desperate yet. It's not that big enough of a deal to bring in the big swinging dick. He's not quite needed. This guy seems to be handling himself quite well. Well, after this, I progress into this elevator with like some Satan imagery, which we don't deal with that Satan imagery, bro. We're not on that grind. We're no Satanists, or what are they called? I don't know, Satanists. We're not about that evil Lucifer life. Cause I mean, look what it takes to be one of these guys. They're all upside down, BDSM murdered. It's just gross. But after this, I walk up to a wall and it opens for me. Well, it explodes for me. I mean, that's how most walls handle themselves when they see me. They're like, oh god, it's him. It's the Marine guy from Doom 3. Oh, I'm jizzing myself and I'm a wall. But deep down in my soul, I have a feeling this is the very end of the game. This is going to be the last boss encounter, and I'm so excited to see what this game has in store. I mean, for the most part, I have loved the game's boss fights in this. Other than, I think, one encounter, I've had an absolute blast. So when I get into this boss fight, my thought process is, okay, I'm going to shoot him a bunch, and I'm just going to take him down. I finally get to use the BFG on a boss, and I'm just laying into him, dude. I'm pumping so many BFG rounds into this asshole, and nothing seems to be working. I mean, I was putting work into this dude. Do you see how many I'm loading up his butthole. I'm just cruising him, dude. I end up using every single BFG round on him. It's just ridiculous. Only to find out that the only weapon that truly does any damage to him is the soul cube or whatever. I mean, that's the only time I felt like he was getting hurt at all. And I was like, dude, what's the point of giving me this super cool arsenal? This super cool, like movement and snappy gunplay if that last boss turns into me running around killing fodder enemies and then just spamming a soul cube. Like, cringe, bro. That's cringe. Is it terrible? No. I'm not going to say it's terrible because, it was still fun. It was very over the top. I did enjoy the scenery. I thought it was a gorgeous boss arena. It just sucks that the last boss of the game, I mean, I would have rather had a bullet sponge, right? I would have rather had a bullet sponge. And I know that's a hot take, but I think it comes down to a lot of games when they don't have, a life meter on the boss to really tell you what's doing damage or not, because in my head, I've played games like this a million times. I mean, even Alice in fucking Madness bullshit had that shit going where I would run around and it took a long time to kill the bosses, but I still felt like I was progressing it and I didn't feel like I had to gimmick through it. But after this, they send in my cute little robot spiders, which I haven't seen in way too long, my cute little friends, and a whole group of Marines are showing up, and basically I am the lone survivor, that I have finally put a wrench in Hell's plan. And what happened to the scientist? At this point, I had no idea. All I knew was I was the only survivor. So basically, the Asian guy that was downstairs that was hiding is dead. The other scientists that were hiding, all dead. I mean, they should have just picked up a gun and been a badass like me. I mean, even the guy that I left living, I didn't even put a bullet in his head out of feeling bad. But then the game cuts and it shows the evil science guy's face, and he's a tongue of a demon. And that's the end of Doom 3, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you subscribed. I hope you commented. I hope you gooned all over yourself while watching it, and I'll catch you on the next video, boys.